Good morning, everyone, or good evening, depending where you are. And yeah, my name is Mary. We will start in a little bit here at Crypto Miners. We have a special guest here, eToro, and I see Josh is already up here. Hello,
Hi Mary,
Josh.
how are
Can you
you?
hear me well? Hi, I'm good.
Thank you for
Welcome to
having
Crypto
me.
Miners. Where in the world are you,
I'm
Josh?
actually I'm in Sydney at the moment, so basically out in Australia.
Oh, so it's good night for
Yeah,
you in
yeah,
Sydney
it's
then.
the evening tonight. Yeah,
All right, good. That's very nice. Yeah, I'm up above and you are down under. So
yeah.
yeah.
We never get a normal time difference, so I'm kind of used to it by now. So everyone else is always on a different
Yeah.
time zone to us. It's the usual.
Yeah. Yeah, you're a little bit different down
Yeah,
there. A little bit alone
yeah,
maybe down there,
yeah.
I
You're
guess.
absolutely right.
Not so many have the same time
No,
zone
not
as
at
you,
all.
but yeah, you're very welcome anyway. So yeah, let's see if we can have more people in here now. People are starting to come. Yeah, it's time actually to start, so they should be here. Everyone, go and grab a friend. Tell them to come here to listen to Josh talking about eToro. eToro is a huge platform, and we will know more about it soon. And we don't give financial advice. Maybe Josh can. Maybe you are a financial advisor. I don't know, but I am
I am
not,
not
so I'm
either.
not gonna give.
No, so
And
nothing will be financial advice today. No, absolutely not.
no, we're just gonna educate you guys about this eToro platform. So, all right, Josh, I'm a little bit interested and curious about what does a market analyst do at eToro,
Yeah, of course.
Josh Gilbert.
So yeah, well, hello everyone. So I obviously am a market analyst for eToro based in Sydney, but I'm a global analyst covering global markets. So everything from Australian stocks to global stocks, US equities, but of course crypto as well. So most of my time is obviously spent researching financial assets and markets. Looking into macro events, how they impact stocks, how they impact crypto assets, researching that and then sort of basically analyzing it and then passing that on to investors. So breaking that down in terms of, what it means for investors, what the future holds, what has happened. A lot of that comes through obviously education. So through, podcasts, videos. So here at eToro, we have basically what we call the eToro Academy. It's a great place for investors to sort of grow their financial knowledge as well. I'm a co-host of the sort of Digest and Invest podcast, so quite a catchy name, we thought. So anybody that's interested in giving that a listen, you can get that on YouTube, or you can have a look on all the podcast platforms. So yeah, that's Digest and Invest. So that's one of sort of my day-to-day tasks as well. But yeah, mainly analyzing lots of information, breaking that down for retail investors in terms of what it means ultimately for when they invest and their portfolios.
Great. So you are the guy to go to if you don't understand stuff.
Yeah,
You don't
basically,
have.
yeah. I mean, look, that's always been a passion of mine, is to try and break down finance or complex matters for everyday people. So the way I've always tried to sort of do it is, if my mum doesn't understand it, then it's my job to try and make it easy for people to understand. So that's what I've always sort of tried to come back to, and I think that eToro's passion, and one of my passions as well, is that investing should be for everyone. It should be made accessible to everyone. So that's a big passion of mine and of eToro's, is to try and make it accessible and make it easier for everyone to invest.
Yeah, very good. I mean, you have been around, or eToro has been around for 16 years plus, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've been
And that's longer than Bitcoin.
yeah,
So
absolutely. Yeah. We were founded in 2007. So we initially started as sort of an FX platform, before sort of developing into a social trading platform in 2010. So we'll probably get onto it, but one of the sort of the unique features that sort of sets us apart from other investment firms, other brokers, is that we do have a sort of a social element. So social trading and social investing. That was
Yeah, totally.
our big feature, and ultimately we have an innovative feature called Copy Trader, which is trademarked, and that ultimately means that users can go onto the platform and copy one another. So again, that's just another way for us to break down those barriers to investing.
Great. Yeah, I saw that too. I mean, that some other platforms has that, I think, but not many. And that's a really good and interesting thing to learn how to trade. And don't you also have like you can fake trade? You can like get a fake 100,000 K and try and trade with it. And yeah, you don't get the wins, but you also don't suffer the
Yeah,
losses.
exactly.
You just
Yeah. So that's our virtual account. So that's on every single account that we have at eToro. So even if you just sign up to want to use the virtual account, for example, you can, or if you're trading sort of full time or investing full time, you'll always have access to the virtual account. And that's, I think, a great feature for a number of reasons. One, of course, if you're just getting started and want to try to get the hang of things. If you're still learning, it's a great place to sort of apply your trade. Practice does make perfect, after all. And I guess it probably maybe comes a little bit more in handy for traders that are sort of testing strategies or wanting to trade on different assets they haven't traded on before. But it's also great for investors as well to get an idea of volatility, to get an idea of how assets move. And as I say, it's a great way to sort of apply education that you've learned. So if you've listened to a piece of education, if you've watched a video, if you've read an article and you want to apply your trade, then where better to start than with sort of a virtual account? So yeah, every single account at eToro has a virtual account.
that's very interesting. So what other things can you do on your platform on eToro? You can trade stocks, and can you go through what other features? Because we have maybe mostly crypto people in
Mm-hmm.
here. Probably lots of them have already traded stocks before, I guess, but maybe also some haven't. So if you want to tell them what they can do on
Yeah,
eToro.
of course. Well, look, I would probably say that the opportunities are endless. Really, that's sort of, I think, what makes us a standout as an investment platform is that we have sort of something for everyone, and that something is all in one platform. So whether it's stocks, cryptos, commodities, currencies, ETFs, so exchange traded funds. As I said earlier, we also have the copy trader feature. So if you're not confident on making those investments yourself or making those trades yourself, then the copy trader feature essentially allows you to copy successful traders from around the globe. So we think the easiest way to sort of explain it is that if you could copy Warren Buffett, then you probably would at a click of a button. So there are other many successful traders around the world. They might not all be Warren Buffett, but we have plenty of them on the platform. So we give you the ability, as I say, to be able to copy other users. And we also have another sort of feature which is called smart portfolios. So again, a similar sort of aspect to ETFs, but these are portfolios that are built by our investment team at eToro. Essentially bundling together a theme such as, say, crypto assets, DeFi, or maybe even things like driverless technologies. And we choose all of the stocks that we believe have the best outlook. Within that sort of theme, we bundle it all into a sort of a portfolio and allow people to sort of seamlessly invest into it as well. So plenty of options. Our sort of biggest I think our sort of biggest selling point is probably down to the sort of zero commission stocks. People from around the world can buy and sell, US stocks, Australian stocks, English stocks. We have multiple exchanges with zero commissions, and as well as that, obviously you can buy and sell crypto as well. So yeah, it's a fantastic place to really build a well-rounded investment portfolio.
So when you say zero commission, is that always zero commission, or is it just up to a certain amount and then you start
Yeah,
paying?
so on stocks, it's always zero commission. So it doesn't matter if you invest $10, it doesn't matter if you invest $1 million, it is zero commission. So yeah, there's no sort of catch there. It is exactly what it says on the tin. We do charge on other assets, just to sort of be clear. So things like crypto,
Yeah.
commodities. I would recommend anybody who's obviously listening that obviously would want to have a look at eTroro. We have a very clear fees page. Go and check it out. So there are fees on other assets, but on stocks, when you go to buy, if there's a little sign there that says real asset zero commission, then again it is exactly what it is. There's no commission.
So I just got a quick question from someone. Do you also trade penny stocks?
That's a good question. It completely depends, really. So we don't necessarily have penny stocks per se. We will have sort of different capped stocks, if you like. So depending on the size of the asset. So we will always look to add assets depending on market demand, and obviously liquidity of stocks as well, which is obviously a huge part. So I wouldn't per se say we have penny stocks. I would say we have smaller cap stocks, yes, but we have over sort of 3,000 assets on the platform. So yeah, there should be something for everyone on there.
So how do you decide which stocks can get on there or can be
Yeah, great
traded?
question. So again, I think the first sort of real sort of decision point from us is obviously sort of demand, for example. So market demand. Are we going to see sort of the liquidity? Are we going to see the investors wanting to sort of use this asset or to buy and sell this asset? So we have a page on eToro where users can go and request an asset to be listed, whether that's a stock, whether it's a crypto, whether it's a commodity, whatever that might be. Our sort of technical team will do conductive research, extensive research on the asset itself, and again, it sort of really depends on, as I say, really probably coming back to demand more than anything, but also liquidity. We want to be able to have an asset that can be bought and sold seamlessly. We don't want to investors running into liquidity issues or stocks that come with high risk. We have a due diligence to look after investors as well. So we are going to make sure that any assets that we had go through thorough due process. To make sure that as I say, when you click back onto the platform, that asset is ultimately still there tomorrow. So that's all part of the due diligence process.
But you are, I mean, now covered in like 100 or 150 countries, I think, all over the world. And isn't it also different regulations all over the world? Do you care where you live? Do you have to like KYC?
Yeah.
How do you have to KYC to get to trade
Yeah,
on
another
eToro?
good question. So ultimately, we obviously, as you say, we operate in over 100 countries now. We are regulated across the globe. So in the UK through the FCA, we're regulated by the SEC in obviously the US. We're regulated in Australia by ASIC and in Europe by SISEC as well, and a few other regulations in there as well. So yes, there will be obviously different regulations for different countries. So those sort of signing up will obviously will have sort of that process to go through. And of course, yes, there is a sort of a KYC process in there as well. So anybody registering for an account will have to sort of go through that KYC process, and will obviously have to meet the requirements of their sort of their regulatory scope as well. Whether that's Australia, so under ASIC, we have to follow regulatory guidelines, and that is obviously passed through in our account opening process, and obviously through KYC as well.
So do you also have like, because if I put in my money in eToro, they sit there on an eToro account, right? Maybe not the crypto. I can move my crypto, I think, but let's take the crypto soon. Do I get, if something would happen, hopefully not, but do you have like insurance or some certainty for the investors up to a certain amount that they always get it back?
Yeah, it's a good question. So, in terms of eToro, and as I said, I'll come back to sort of the regulatory standards first of all. So, in terms of regulatory process, everything that eToro does will go through those regulators, right? So we go through as I say FINRA, we go through STA, we go through SISEC, ASIC, etc. So we're sort of at the I don't want to say mercy, but we obviously go through a very diligent process through regulators to begin with. And it also depends on region as well, depending on protection. So, for example, in the UK, in terms of FCA, there is a sort of a separate protection process. And again, that would be separate from Australia. That would be separate from the US as well. But in terms of how that sort of protection is covered, all of the assets that are held on eToro are held in sort of segregated accounts, which is sort of one of our sort of real key points here. Is they're in segregated bank accounts or in segregated accounts, which ultimately means that if the worst was to happen, that your funds would be protected. And as I say, those sort of insurances and licenses will vary depending on location as well.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. You're one of the big ones up there out there, and I think you grow lots during last couple of years. Is that like a Corona effect that people are started to trade a lot when they were bound to their
Yeah,
homes?
no,
What do you think?
I think without a doubt that we've seen an influx of retail investors, into markets over the last 3 years, obviously since sort of COVID happened, and I mean, look, we're sort of sat at around about 30 million global users now. So that's obviously increased quite significantly from where we were in sort of 2020. And I think it's fantastic to see so many more retail investors participating in markets, to sort of give themselves access to investments, to give themselves access to financial markets. But yeah, I would say that obviously COVID had a huge part to play in that. People had more time, which I think is obviously key. Time is massive when it comes to investing. So when people had plenty of time to look into it, a lot of people said, look, I've finally got the time to sort of delve into it and get stuck into it. And I think that's fantastic. People took the time to educate themselves, took the time to research investing, and that's why we have seen such an influx of retail investors, and retail investors are more important than ever in markets today.
Yeah, and when at what point did you start adding crypto as an asset
Yes, so
to eToro?
so we were one of the founding fathers, I would probably like to say. So we added Bitcoin onto the platform as early as 2013. So again,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
we were sort of pretty early onto the scene, and that would be a big thanks to obviously our CEO Yoni Yasia. So for those that sort of don't know who Yoni is, he has been within the sort of crypto and blockchain space since the very beginning. He actually sort of was a co-author of a white paper called Colored Coins. That was actually a venture that he, as I say, co-authored with Vitalik Buterin, who, as most of us probably will know, is the founder of Ethereum. And arguably, this was sort of the first articulation of NFTs. And this was also before Ethereum was born. So as I say, eToro sort of offered Bitcoin in 2013, and we've sort of been very supportive of crypto and blockchain ever since that time. And then in sort of 2017 we sort of grew that. It may have been even 2016. We added more assets such as Ethereum, XRP, Litecoin, and yeah, we've sort of grown from there ever since. But yeah, a very early adopter.
Great. Yeah, I see those. You can see on your webpage, you can see all the coins that you have at the
Mm-hmm.
moment. It's all of them are pretty big ones that has been around for a while. What does it take for a coin or a project, crypto project, to come on there, to be an asset that can be traded on eToro?
Yes.
Or do you choose that, or can they apply?
Yeah,
Or?
exactly. So very, very similar to what we said in terms of the assets earlier. So it goes through sort of a process. So anybody can apply to be on there. Anybody can essentially put through an application. So even investors that want to see an asset on there. Again, that comes down to market demand. It comes down to the assets technology. It comes down to the assets use case. So again, that will run through our sort of technical team, who will work to sort of obviously integrate it into the platform, and obviously try to support that asset for trading. But it's got to go through our process of us ultimately deeming it suitable. And as I say, we're obviously seeing a bit of a frenzy again now through sort of the meme coin era. Which is obviously seeing a lot. Yeah,
Up.
Exactly. It's all over. It's all over Twitter at the moment. But again, that's really important, because what a lot of people will see in that space is there's yes, there's lots of people promoting that there can be a lot of money made, but also there is a huge amount of risk that comes to that at the same time. So I think that's really important to know, because a big part of what we do is yes, we want to democratize finance, but we also have, as I said earlier, a responsibility to protect investors as well. So that's a huge part of what we do.
So how big part is the crypto trading on the platform? Do you have any percentage there?
Yeah, no, it's huge. I mean, I'm not sure on exact percentages. I wouldn't even want to hazard a guess at it, but yeah, it's a huge part. Again, as I say, given that we've had Bitcoin since 2013, we've had other crypto assets since sort of 2017. And I think what sort of stands us apart from say exchanges, for example, is that we are obviously a regulated platform as well. So that's pretty big, and a lot of obviously exchanges out there don't necessarily follow regulation by the regulators of just sort of traditional finance. So I think that's obviously been huge for a lot of retail investors getting into the space that have maybe struggled with trust elements. So that has obviously been huge. And again, yeah, it's certainly a big part of what investors do with us.
So do you see that that part is growing more at the moment than the traditional stock market trading? And
I would say that, to be honest, we still see a lot of interest in traditional assets. Of course, I think whenever crypto assets do well, as we've sort of seen this year, Bitcoin up sort of 70%, we will obviously see that sort of general rotation of investors into crypto, and of course you'll obviously see a bigger spike in trades into Bitcoin as well, especially if you see that volatility come back through, and if that's obviously positive, then you're obviously going to see trades increase as well. But we are seeing that, again, the S&P 500 has done well this year. We've seen tech stocks do pretty well this year as well. Fixed income has also been a very big conversation in financial markets this year as well. But as I say, yeah, crypto is definitely up there at the moment as a top asset, given its performance so far this year.
So you talked about earlier Warren Buffett and other well-known traders. I don't know if Warren Buffett is on eToro, but maybe he is, and you can follow him. But you can follow others anyway, and quite famous, or just your neighbor if you want to, I guess. But what if you don't want to be followed? Can you do you have an option there to be?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, unfortunately, I don't think Warren Buffett is on eToro just yet. But maybe down the line.
Not yet.
But yeah, no. Look, I mean, people have the option to have a completely private profile. We don't restrict that. Obviously, so part of that copying feature is that we have what we call a popular investor program. So we have a program which basically ranks investors depending on a number of requirements in terms of verification, in terms of performance, in terms of risk profile, and that will help investors coming onto the platform to pick somebody who they can copy as well. And ultimately that shows that they are also verified by eToro as well, in terms of when you come to sort of copy someone and sort of follow someone. So nobody essentially will be promoted by eToro to be copied unless they have sort of gone through that sort of due process, as I said earlier, that we sort of set out to be a copy trader per se.
So you can also then interact with those people that you
Yeah,
follow,
absolutely.
like a social, like Twitter, or it's a social platform as well that you can talk to each other,
Yeah,
or
correct. Yeah, so we have basically on every asset that you go onto, whether that's Bitcoin, whether it's Apple, whether it's gold, there's a news feed on that asset, so you can see posts from users on the platform. So every single user that posts, obviously, that can be filtered. We will rank posts depending on obviously their quality, for etc. as well. You can look at what somebody has posted. So you might want to follow someone that posts a lot of quality content about Bitcoin. You might want to follow someone that posts something quite frequently about Apple shares. So there's plenty on there. As I say, you can follow people, you can set up notifications, you can comment, you can share. So yeah, it's basically a social platform built into an investment platform. So it's a bit of a two-in-one, and we believe that there's the knowledge is power, and with 30 million users, there's plenty of knowledge to go around. So
for sure. I mean, that's good thing. I think with your platform, it's also quite easy to navigate and understand. The interface of the platform is not as complicated, I think, as maybe others can be. So that's also good for you.
yeah.
Well done. So if we move on to crypto, since this is also a crypto community, there is not too many crypto already on your platform. The big ones, yes, but there are so many new, also big ones coming out. And how fast is it growing, the the collection of
Yeah, so
coins? How many do you
we have about
add?
80 at the moment, in total. So again, yeah, we don't have a broader, we don't have every single asset out there. As I say, coming back to sort of that meme coin focus and things like that, we don't just add assets for no reason. Coming back to also that sort of regulation side as well, we have we have that we have that due diligence to do. We have to sort of protect retail investors. But bottom line here is that we do add assets quite frequently. Once they sort of fit our mold, when they fit sort of what we're looking for in an asset. Once we've done that sort of research, once we've looked at its technology and use cases, and obviously if we have that demand, obviously we're not going to sort of crack the demand. If we have hundreds of thousands of people asking us to add an asset, doesn't mean we will add an asset, but it obviously plays a huge part in us obviously speeding up that sort of transition to add the asset, for example. But of course we're constantly looking to add new assets, and people are more than welcome to send us emails and to sort of reach out to our customer service team to request assets, because we will more than certainly look into it. At the end of the day, we are here for people to invest, and we're a social platform, so we want to have as many assets as possible.
All right, good to know. So on some other platforms, I know you can't really buy the crypto itself. Like you get only, I don't know the names here, because bear with me, my English
Okay.
when it comes to economical terms, but you buy like a share of a coin only, like a paper, and you can never put them in your wallet. How does it work at your place? Do you at eToro, do you sign up with your own wallet, or do you have to create a wallet at eToro, or?
Yeah, so good question. So when you buy a crypto asset through eToro, you are buying the underlying asset. So it is the actual coin. It's not paper traded. It's the real asset. And yes, we do have the eToro wallet. It is a digital wallet that allows users to sort of securely store and manage their crypto assets. Supports obviously a wide range of assets, and then that can be linked up to another wallet if you wish. So the first initial sort of transaction is to go from the eToro platform to the eToro wallet, and then from there you can obviously, if you wish, move those assets to a ledger to another wallet of your choosing as well. But yeah, completely available. As I say, to be withdrawn to the wallet, and all the crypto assets that you buy are real assets.
All right, that's good. And you said when you trade stocks, you don't pay any fees, but what kind of fees do you pay when you trade crypto or buy
Yeah, good
crypto?
question. So I believe at the moment, you may correct me if I'm wrong on this, I'll probably have to check, but it's a 1% fee in and a 1% fee out. So nice and flat. So when you buy 1%, when you sell 1%, so straight in and out, just 1% each way.
Okay. And how can you buy it? Can you use your credit card? Can you transfer other crypto to your wallet and transfer it on the platform and buy with, for instance, Bitcoin and buy Ethereum instead?
So,
Or
at the moment, we don't have a feature to be able to transfer assets into the platform. You can use the eToro wallet to basically send crypto assets. You can also buy and sell through the eToro wallet as well. But for the time being, into the eToro platform, it is just through your traditional card deposit, bank transfer, etc. There will be different payment methods for different regions as well. But no, there's no ability at the moment to transfer into the eToro platform, and again, that just comes back to sort of regulation. But yeah, the eToro wallet is sort of fully functional in that sense.
okay, very good. But I have to have an eToro wallet. I can't use my like Trust wallet or other wallets out
Not
there.
straight from the get go, no. So initially
No.
it goes to the eToro wallet is the first transaction, and then from there you can obviously go then to a Trust wallet, a Ledger, whatever you wish to use from there.
But you said I can't transfer it back then.
No, yeah. So once it goes into the ledger or into the wallet, for the time being, it can't go back into the platform. No.
So I can't sell it again and get money back from
Correct.
it.
Yeah. So what we do have is in the eToro wallet, for example, there is the ability to sort of sell assets. We do have eToro Money, which at the moment is basically our sort of facilitation of our own sort of debit card. So we do have that feature. I'm not again, that sort of side of the eToro wallet is not something that I 100% focus on. But there is a feature, I believe, through the eToro wallet where you can sort of buy and sell assets. But again, to get back into the platform, it's not possible.
Okay, but that will come then. I hear like not yet. You said
Yeah,
maybe
hopefully in the
it's on
future.
its way then.
Look, again, as I say, given sort of the regulatory environment at the moment, that's obviously a huge part of that. Depending on obviously how assets are regulated, it obviously comes down to the due process that we have to follow. Given that obviously these assets are decentralized, and that's not quite how regulators like to sort of track things at the moment. So it's obviously very difficult to keep a track of where assets come from. So there's obviously as I say, KYC and lots of moving parts that sort of go into it. But hopefully in the future it is something that can be fully built out for users to have access to.
All right, I got a question here. I think I know the answer, but let's see if you have another answer. It is if you buy a crypto asset and you sell it at 10% profit, and you buy another crypto asset within that year, when do you pay tax? And I think that depends on where you live, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So there'll be
Yeah.
lots of different you know tax laws across the world, and obviously I'm not qualified to give tax advice. I would
Yeah.
just tell that person to sort of seek professional help and go and speak to an accountant for
But
help.
does your platform help people calculate how much win or profit they made
Absolutely.
during the
Yeah,
year?
of course. Yeah. So in certain regions, we do provide crypto tax statements that come from sort of a third party provider. So again, depending on the region that you're based in, but we also do provide detailed statements as well. So users can have access to profit and loss statements, what they've bought, what they've sold. So yeah, fully accessible statements to sort of get a better understanding of of dates and times, buys and sells, etc. Yeah, that's fully available.
All right. I see. Let's see. Amber put some questions in the chat here also. Can eToro community-driven approach to investing create a more inclusive and accessible financial system for everyone?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think that's a huge part of our sort of ethos, a huge part of obviously what we aim to sort of do. As a social network, we're here to sort of empower people to grow their knowledge, to grow their wealth as part of a community of investors. That was the vision when we started back in 2007 to sort of open up global markets. And and now sat here all these years later, we obviously now have 30 million users that can share investment strategies. They can follow the approaches of those who have been the most successful. So yeah, that's ultimately that sort of global community is really important, and education, courses, podcasts, meetups. That all plays a huge part, and that's all available in the platform. So yeah, absolutely.
So do you have a thought of implementing artificial intelligence and machine learning? Because there's another question from Amber. Thank you, Amber. How might eToro leverage artificial intelligence and machine learning to enhance its trading algorithms and personalized investment for users?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, in terms of what I said earlier, our CEO Yoni Asia has always been at the forefront of technology innovation. As I say, adding Bitcoin back in sort of 2013. We've always been at the forefront of obviously blockchain as well. We've made plenty of strategic acquisitions over the years to implement blockchain into the platform to accelerate the growth of a tokenized financial system. And I think as well, AI is going to play a huge part. And I know for sure, for people that don't follow Yoni on Twitter, I'd certainly recommend it. He is just under sort of Yoni Asia. You can sort of find him, but he talks a lot about artificial intelligence and how he believes it has a huge role to play in the future. So although I can't talk to if we have anything in the pipeline, I'm unfortunately not sort of privy to those sort of boardroom conversations right now, but I'm sure it's a huge part of what we plan to do in the future. And I can't imagine it's long until we're sort of exploring the opportunity to sort of try and add AI into the platform. But I also think AI is going to be really important for retail investors in terms of digesting and analyzing data. And I think it sort of gives retail investors a sort of a leg up that maybe once only institutions have sort of ever had. So I think it's going to be huge for retail investors moving forward.
Very good. I mean, I would like to know your long-term vision as well. If you like look ahead, what do you think? I know we don't have any crystal balls or anything here, but unfortunately, we would all be
Yeah.
rich and sit on an island somewhere. But what do you think the future has in store, and what is the vision, the big-term vision, long-term vision of eToro moving forward, like 5 years ahead? What do you think?
Yeah, so I think again the big goal here, and again I don't think that ever comes to an end, is helping people to grow their knowledge, breaking down barriers of financial markets. That is really key. It continues to sort of be our main goal and our main vision. It has been since sort of 2007, and I don't think we will stop until we get millions of more users financially savvy, growing their knowledge, growing their wealth, as part of a global community. And I think that's why the Twitter partnership, which we've recently announced, I think fits sort of so well in terms of combining sort of two communities, and bringing together sort of two sort of social platforms, to sort of give better access to sort of financial knowledge. That there is power in shared knowledge, and by sort of transforming investing into a group endeavor, I think we can yield better results and become more successful together. So I think that is the goal, and of course we will continue to add new assets. We will continue to stay at the forefront of innovation. But as I say, 5 years time, the goal is to sort of educate more and more people. As I say, that's a big goal of mine as well. Through the Digest and Invest podcast that we run, to try and give people as much access to financial knowledge, because ultimately they still don't run it in schools. So if we can help with that, then that's really important.
Yeah, you said something important there. Knowledge is the key here, and to follow along and see what's happening in the world, and the companies and everywhere. So you mentioned also Twitter. Obviously, we are going to talk about your partnership with Twitter. That's a big thing, right? So how did that happen? Were you like, did you call Elon Musk and ask if you could have a partnership? Did he call you, or how did it work?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. I'm not exactly sure if Elon was on the call, or I know for a fact that I definitely didn't speak to Elon myself, unfortunately. But look, in terms of obviously how the deal sort of came about, or in terms of this sort of partnership, if you like, came about. I'm not 100% on sort of the final details, but in terms of it makes a lot of sense in terms of the sort of the synergies between the two companies, and I think this was sort of recognized from the outset from both. I think Twitter has become a crucial part of the retail investing community. It's where millions of investors go every day to access financial news, share knowledge, converse. Massive in the crypto space as well, and obviously eToro, in terms of being a social investing network, these were the very principles that eToro was built on. Community, knowledge sharing, and better access to financial markets. So I think it completely made sense for this partnership for both. But obviously, from an eToro perspective, it was great to be able to provide this access to financial markets to Twitter's user base.
Yeah, and so what does it really mean then for me as a Twitter user, or as a trader on eToro? What's the difference
Yeah,
now?
so essentially, for those who maybe aren't sure what the sort of the partnership is to do with, it's to do with sort of the cash tag element. So cash tags have sort of been around for a while. They're not exactly new, but they, I think, have been more prominent on Twitter more recently. So if you're searching for a ticker such as BTC, ETH, if you're searching for maybe Apple, with the sort of the ticker, so the dollar sign in front, and then obviously BTC following, it will bring you up obviously similar to obviously a hashtag, but a cash tag. So in this sense, on Twitter, when searching for BTC, you will see a Bitcoin chart that is through TradingView, but it gives users the ability to view that asset on eToro, and then once they view it on eToro, they then have the option to then register and sign up with eToro, in which they can then buy and sell the asset. So to be clear, not anybody can just click on the chart and click view on eToro and then trade it straight away. As we mentioned at the sort of the top of the space, that there is a KYC process to sort of follow. But yeah, it's opening up. Excuse me.
Yeah, but once you make an account and then do this procedure as you just walked us through, like with the cash tags, then you can do it very quickly, right?
Yeah, exactly.
If you
Yeah.
see a new.
So once you've once you've gone through.
Have some water, Josh.
Yeah, excuse me. Sorry. There we go. That's better. Once you've sort of gone through that sort of process in terms of registering, you then have the ability, obviously, then to view the charts on eToro, to view the asset. You can buy and sell then through eToro. So yes, once you've registered, you have the access to then click to view on eToro, and then through there you can buy and sell once you are registered through eToro. Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing. So that's a huge thing for you in marketing then to be seen. And now you're also doing this AMA. Are you going to do more AMAs or more shows? I know you mentioned you had your own show as well, weekly, but
Yeah, of course. I mean, look, we're more than, we're always happy to sort of have those conversations. And again, being a bigger part of, the cash tag community and the, the social media space, we've always been a part of that. So yeah, as I say, we have our Digest and Invest platform as well, where we cover crypto, we cover stocks, we interview sort of leaders across the crypto space, across the financial space as well. So yeah, absolutely, we will try and take part in as many AMAs and as many conversations as we can.
that's good. So how can I find your
Yeah,
podcast?
so you
Where
can.
is it?
It's really easy to search for. So you can either search for eToro on YouTube, and you'll be able to find Digest and Invest there, or you can go on to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever it is you go, and you can just search for Digest and Invest by eToro. And then, yeah, the podcast will be on there. It's sort of split into a few different segments. So we have Market Bites, which is basically myself and my colleague Sam North, and we basically talk about the three hottest topics in the markets that week. So it could be crypto, it could be the Federal Reserve, but we always sort of try and tie it back and break it down simply for people to understand. We also, as I say, have a conversation with leaders podcast, which is all built under Digest and Invest, so it's all in the in the same podcast. I guess episodes there, in the same album, if you like, and conversation with leaders. We interview CEOs, we interview some of the top thought leaders across the space. So yeah, all available on all podcast platforms. You just got to search for Digest and Invest, or just search
All right,
for
cool.
eToro.
So how often is that? Once a week
Yeah,
or?
so once a week. At the moment, there's probably sort of 2 or 3 episodes that come out a week. But yeah, the Market Bites, which is our sort of main podcast, comes out once every week. So yeah, digesting and on breaking down the sort of the 3 hottest topics in the market that week.
All right, so it's a mix of crypto and
Yeah,
others
exactly.
assets then. Okay, cool. All right. I get some other questions in here. Let's see. Someone is curious what happened with eToro X. There was some dedicated crypto exchange called eToro X, but now it's something else. Do you know what happened there or why you didn't go through with that?
Yeah, so I believe eToro X was a sort of an institutional sort of exchange that we sort of did have. I'm not 100% sure in terms of the sort of reasons it's no longer available to sort of retail investors, but I would believe that it was more to focus on sort of the eToro platform that we do have, where you can obviously buy and sell real assets, and obviously, as I said earlier, you have the ability to sort of send to wallets. So I believe it was to sort of focus on sort of the main eToro platform in terms of just having a sole sort of crypto trading service rather than having separate services.
Okay. So everything in one now.
Exactly
It
that.
was the work. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's better actually. Because there are lots of other exchange only for crypto already, and your interface is great. Someone said, why don't you have a dark mode on it though? People are
Yeah, that's a good question.
wanting
Yeah,
that.
we do have lots of questions about that. I believe from speaking to some of the team here in product that is
It's
quite a
coming.
yeah it's quite a widely requested sort of addition to the platform. We do have dark mode available on charts. I'd like to make that clear. So you can use dark mode on the charts, but on the platform at the moment, there isn't the ability to use dark mode, but hopefully coming very soon. I can't promise anything, but I would like to hope even myself that we have that available down the line.
Yeah, I miss dark mode. Dark
Yeah,
mode is the key
yeah.
to use anything these days. I think it's so much easier for the eyes. All right. So Josh, what else can we talk about? What do you want to inform us about? Is there something new coming? Something that you want to release here now?
So I mean, look,
That we can look
we're
forward to?
obviously always looking to open ideas up, and we're always looking to, as I say, we're a social platform with 30 million users. So if anybody has requests, anything they'd like to see from us, we're always open arms. But I think obviously a big part of what we've done recently is obviously had conversations around sort of the Twitter partnership and how how much that means for sort of users to be able to get access to sort of financial markets. And I think financial content on social media has provided education to sort of many who have felt excluded, I think, by more traditional channels. And the fact that so many people go to social media for their news, finance or otherwise these days. But we know that people are going to Twitter for finance. So I've said it a number of times, but community and knowledge sharing is crucial to learning about financial markets. And we want to enable everyday investors to seamlessly learn and express their their opinions and to grow their knowledge through others. So as I say, we believe there's a lot of power in shared knowledge, and eToro and Twitter have some of the biggest networks of investors on the platform on the planet. So sort of putting those two together, I think, is fantastic. So anybody is welcome to obviously try it out. Of course, you can just search for the dollar sign and any sort of Bitcoin or Ethereum as the ticker on there to sort of view a chart, and you'll see a little sign that says view on eToro as well.
And it's not only cryptocurrency you can search for, right? You can also search for stocks with the cash tag.
Absolutely, yeah. So if you want to put in the dollar sign and search for, say, Tesla, you can put TSLA, and it will show you the Tesla chart and obviously all the information that people have been tweeting about that stock. And we're also going to be rolling out other assets as well, such as commodities as well down the line. So
like gold and silver as
yeah,
well,
yeah.
right?
So that will be sort of rolled out. But we've seen that Twitter has had about 420 million searches for cash tags since the start of the year. So it's a huge feature as well that that I think really allows people to get access to see those charts, to see prices, to sort of really put a visual on something they're searching for. There's, as I say, 420 million searches since the start of the year. There's an average of 4.7 million searches a day. I think it's great to have such a feature in place.
So are you gonna come out with your own token or coin as well?
I don't think it's something in
Platform?
the pipeline at the moment.
You don't, or you do?
No, I don't think I don't think it is in the pipeline
Okay.
at the moment. Again, I wouldn't want to be sort of too privy to sort of speculation, but I'm not sure it's something that's in the pipeline. Again, as I say, unfortunately, I'm not sat in the boardroom. I'm more sort of boots on the ground. But again, we always explore lots of different options. As I say, I don't think there's any plans for that at the moment.
Or NFTs.
Yeah,
eToro
we
is
definitely explore NFTs, absolutely. So on the platform, for example, under our Discover page where you can look for stocks, crypto, etc., there's also an NFT section there as well, which will take you to one of our sort of partner or sister companies, if you like, which is Delta. Delta is essentially an investment tracking app, but on there you have the ability to track your investments through. You can link up, wallets. You can link up other companies in there to track your stocks, bonds, crypto, NFTs as well. And through there as well, we give users the option to sort of buy and sell NFTs through Delta as well. So not directly through eToro, but it is powered by eToro.
And I know that you also have, if I buy crypto, I can also do staking, right? Is that true?
Yeah, again, that depends on your region as well. So again, that is dependent on obviously region, but yes, we
Okay.
do have staking available, not for all assets. I believe at the moment it's for eToro, for Cardano and for Tron. And through the eToro wallet, we also do support staking of Ethereum as well. So 2.0, of course.
And there also different tiers that you can move up to, like bronze, silver, gold, while trading
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
crypto.
So depending on obviously your capital and the amount that you buy and sell for assets, or the amount of cash balance you have in the account, will give you sort of, again, different access to sort of different tiers. So that will be different in terms of, as I said earlier, we provide access to things like tax reports. We provide access such as free access to the Delta Pro, so you get a free pro version of the investment tracker. We also provide more in-depth research and analysis. We provide subscriptions to outlets such as the Wall Street Journal, Financial Times, etc. We also sponsor a variety of sports teams across the world. So rugby teams, football teams, things like that. So we have hand-picked sporting events available for those clients as well. Plenty of options available. People can just Google eToro club tiers and they'll be able to see what the requirements are and what is available.
All right. So if I like this company eToro, how can I buy stocks? Can I get some of the profit somehow, or is it a private company? Or
yeah, good question. So eToro is a private company at the moment. So some people may be aware that we did we did look at sort of listing publicly back in 2020. That ultimately didn't come to fruition, but it is something that I believe would continue to explore down the line. Again, there is nothing there from my side. As I say, unfortunately, I don't have that access to the boardroom. But for now, we are a private company. So yeah, no access right now. But hopefully in the future, there may be something for users, because it's part of opening up investing to the world. That would be a big part of that. So yeah, private for the moment, but it may not be that way forever.
Okay, good to know. So just keep an eye out.
Correct, yeah.
For what's happening in the future with eToro. And I have to ask about the name, because is it as I think? Because who founded the company? From what country?
So it was actually from Israel. So we were born from Tel Aviv.
Oh, Israel.
Yeah, so a Tel Aviv firm. So we were founded by Yoni Assia and his brother Ronen Assia in 2007. Again, the question behind the name is actually a very good question. I'm not actually 100% sure where the name actually comes from. I'm going to assume that it comes from, obviously, the bull element, given Toro, and we obviously do focus quite heavily on the horns either side of eToro, as anybody who can have a look at the platform or our logo will be able to see. But I think that the E is probably in terms of online, and the Toro is obviously the bull side. So yeah,
the bull market is here again. Always,
yeah, exactly that.
Somewhere, right?
Yeah, hopefully soon.
All right, good. So yeah, I think I'm not sure I have more questions for you, but it's really nice to talk about this, and it's interesting to see a big company as eToro coming on and are interesting in our community here at Crypto Miners, and wanting to share knowledge about the platform, and that a big platform as yours are also moving into crypto. And you said it's already since 2013.
Exactly.
So it has been a while.
Yeah. Well, of course. Well, Mary, look, I appreciate you having us on as well. And as I say, if we can sort of break down those barriers, provide some more financial education for people, and help people learn, and that's what we're here to do. And if that's part of a Twitter space, then yeah, more than happy to help. But very much appreciate you for having us on today.
And how can we be in touch with you if someone in here wants to keep talking or have other questions that didn't get answered today?
So anyone's more than welcome to give me a follow on Twitter and send me a DM if they have questions. You can also follow me via the eToro platform as well. So as I say, we have the sort of eToro social platform where there's over 30 million users as well. So people want to register and have conversations on there. I'm under Josh Gilbert 9. If you just search for me you will be able to find me. I post quite frequently on the eToro platform, but of course, I'm on Twitter, so you can follow my handle. And if you want to chat, feel free to send me a message. I'd be more than happy to have a conversation.
Also, you are one of the celebrities you can follow, Josh. That's good. Good to know.
Yeah, one of the celebrities. I have a few more followers on eToro, so yeah, I might be better on there.
So how is your portfolio doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, I think obviously if you own crypto, you'd probably be a little bit more a little bit happier this year. But so I don't actually
Hopefully.
have, unfortunately, I don't have a public profile in terms of being able to see what I buy and sell.
Oh,
But you can,
why not?
I think more just in terms of sort of conflict, in terms of me sort of talking about
Ah, yeah,
markets,
okay.
etc.
I get it.
But yeah, but again, I post lots of research on there anyway, so you can't see my trades, but you can absolutely see my research and my analysis on there as well.
Yeah. And then you can think yourself which ones
Exactly. Yeah.
you like or
Do
not.
with that as you wish. Yeah.
Very good. Well, it has been a pleasure talking with you, Josh. I hope we will see you again at some point. That would be nice when you move on to maybe more. Well, Twitter might be the first, and then you go to other big things or partnerships as well
Yeah.
later
Absolutely.
on with
Yeah. Well.
in terms of crypto.
Yeah. Well. Let's see. Hopefully, there's more to come. And again, thank you very much for having me, Mary. It's been a pleasure, and I'm sure we can do this again soon.
Great. And since my question always the last one is, what do you put on your pineapple pizza, Josh? Or what do you put on your pizza? Do you
I
have
don't. I
pineapple?
definitely don't put pineapple on my pizza. It would
Very
be a
good.
meat feast for me. So pepperoni and any other meat would go on there. But yeah, definitely no
No
pineapple.
fruit.
No fruit for me, unfortunately.
All right, right. Put it at the side then
Yeah,
as
we
a
can leave that off.
dessert instead. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Josh, for
Thank you, Mary.
coming.
Thanks, everyone.
And
Have a good
it
evening.
was lovely to know more about eToro and yeah, add some more crypto to it.
We will do. Feel free
EToro
to send
will
through any
be there.
requests, and we will look into them. So yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Josh.
Mary.
Have a nice
Same
evening
to
and
you.
night
Have
over
a good
there,
day. See you.
down under. Yeah.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye. And bye, everyone. Thank you so much for coming and listening this early morning here in Europe and late night back down in Australia. So, hope to see you soon again, guys. Bye for now.